Yes, because it's the motherfucking plot twist. Shout out. As you guys can see today, we are in a new space. It is a new year and it's a new vibe. First, I want to shout out Twin River Studios because that's where you see us right now. That's what's up. You know, yeah, snaps for the girls, honey. Snaps for the girls because that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Elevation.
Yes.
Upward mobility.
Come on.
Rising from the ashes.
Let's go.
That's what it's about today, you know? So, yeah, shout out to Twin River Studio. And I also want to, yes, you can let it clap. Yeah, clap for Twin River Studios. Clap. Let the applause play. Let it play. Let's
go, applause.
Yes. Because with the studio comes engineers, darling. Engineers, darling.
You better have engineers.
Okay. And with that also comes our co-host. Let's say co-host. I'm going to say co-host because you're hosting the conversation with me today. You are. Because it's a conversation that we're having and, you know, they're listening to. So we're hosting it together.
I love.
And yes, talking about upward mobility, talking about rising up, it is so fitting to have this special guest today. Yes, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, actually, because I do want you to talk about your story and introduce yourself. But I'm going to also say that this is one of the first people that I seen when I was coming out into the community. And like I said, around discovering the time of voguing and all that, I was seeing other people do other forms of dance, right? So Jade was actually one of the people who was leading the charge back then in the hip hop dance community at the DLMs and the OIPs and the back then. Am I aging myself right now a little bit? I hope not. A little bit. But like Jade was one of the girls that was on top back then, right? So to see where you've made it to now, you see, I'm jumping ahead again.
It's okay.
Oh my God. And so I'm gonna let my special guest introduce himself. And then I'm going to definitely follow that note. So,
well, thank you. First of all, before I introduce myself formally, this is awesome. This is amazing. And I am so happy and so proud of you.
Thank you.
I reached out to you. I'm like, I want to be on here. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm so
First of all, can we just say that? Like, shout out to that because I wasn't even going to say all that because I wanted to be like, that's why I reached out to you. But, you know, Hollywood, you reached out to me and that made me feel so good because I feel like I do that to a lot of people.
Yes.
Like when I see that they're trying to do something new, I definitely reach out to them and give them a hand and I see how much it motivates them to do it.
Yeah.
And so for somebody who I look up to and see with my two eyes what they're doing out there, why like they're achieving exactly the dreams that they had for themselves, which is exactly what I'm doing. I had to just like make that happen. And the producer, shout out to Crown Me TV, they were like, yes, make it happen immediately. So yeah, it is what it is. But
thank you. Wow, that's a lot to unpack. But like, my name is Hollywood Jade. I am I am a dancer turned choreographer, artistic director. I love art and expression, and that is who I am. I'm a lover of music, and I love seeing people grow, and I love seeing the advancement of people who I also can see with my two eyes. And that's why I was like, I want to be a part of this. I love this. And yes, so that's
And the topic today is Black excellence.
Let's go.
And we're going to talk about it from a few different angles. To get us into the conversation, I think we should find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
But what I'm going to definitely do is not forget to introduce myself because I've been forgetting to do that each and every episode because I just assume the girls just know who the fuck I am. Like,
I get
how
it.
dare I? Like,
I get it.
Twisted, like, what? Twisted, get it together. Like, what?
No
okay,
shade.
so my name is Twisted, aka Mr. Maple Leaf. And the reason why I gave myself that own nickname is because, you know, I was the only girl voguing back then that was traveling to the States. Mm-hmm. So I gave myself Mr. Canada. That's who I was. And yeah.
Have you had a Maple Leaf ball?
We had the Great Canadian Ball, but not like specifically named Twisted. No. But I might.
All right.
Yeah, that's free thing number 3.
Come on.
Number 3. Okay, cool. So that's who I am. So let's get a little bit of insight to exactly who you are.
Okay.
And what brought you into the world of dance.
Yes.
What inspires you as a dancer, and then we'll take it from there as we go.
What how it all started for me, honestly, is like I love music. I always loved music, but even at a young age, I realized that I didn't sound like the people that I liked listening to. And then and then
I feel that. I really feel that. Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
because
yes.
I know if like someone held me up at gunpoint and said sing, they wouldn't shoot me because I sounded bad. But like I don't sound like I would like to sound. So I'm grateful that I found dance because it became the vehicle in which I was able to express myself artistically, emotionally, through all the different things that I went through. And yeah, so that's where it all started for me. It was like music, and then I found dance. And when I was 19, I graduated from high school. I was like, what am I gonna do? Because I wanted to go into musical theater. I'm a musical theater geek. I love musical theater.
Shout out.
Right? Because it combines all the things that I love: singing, acting, and dancing.
Triple Tech girls.
Come on. And they are the ones like who gig, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay. And when I didn't get into university, because I am a man of a certain age,
No shade.
Come on. My birthday just passed. I am 37. And
Bitch, I'm gagging. Okay, work. Whoa. Shout the fuck out.
honey, she's melanated and hydrated.
It's eating it for me. It's eating it. But yes.
Yeah, like so there wasn't a lot of outlets, you know what I mean? And musical theater is what I thought was going to be what got me to stardom. Like I was like, I'm gonna go to New York, I'm gonna be on Broadway for a couple years, then I'm gonna be on a soap opera and get a movie, and then all of a sudden
there was a path.
That's what I thought.
Right.
And then not getting into university almost like crushed me. And that's when I found more community like dance stuff, and I met my first mentor, and she took me under her wing, and I started working in the industry, like literally like graduated in June. By August I had done my first movie.
Okay.
Like it literally like happened like that.
And did you do that as a dancer in the movie?
Yes, I was. It was a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie.
Shout out. Shout out.
Yeah, like it literally was like, I don't know what I'm doing in June, and by August I was in a movie.
Okay,
it was
so
crazy.
then that was your, I guess for lack of a better word now, that was your path that you were going to be on, the dancer route.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't get into the musical theater stuff because I thought the only way to do it was through post-secondary.
Right.
Right? Like, so another thing that I think I should explain is like, now there's all of these resources and access. There wasn't all of this access when I was 19 and looking for ways out. You know what I mean? And this is how it was presented to me. It was done. So this is the path that I thought I had to take.
Right.
You know? And then I met Jay Blaze, and everything changed. I was like, wow, I didn't realize that the people who were in music videos and in these movies were people who lived here. And that I had access to. And this was around the Sean Paul era and the Director X era. So like,
and he was not Director X back then, baby. That was Little X.
It was Little X.
Let's go.
No
Let's take it back, honey. Just give me the light, honey. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Just give me the light.
You know, so like I met the people who were doing all of that stuff, and then that's how my career in the industry started.
Okay, so then I guess a question that I guess jumps out to me right away would be, how did you, I guess, go from being just a dancer, right, into moving into, I guess, elevating that, and being a director, a creative director, and I guess, yeah, because what made you start Urbanesque and stuff like that? Because you were just a dancer, like you said.
Yes.
And then you moved, I guess, to choreography. Obviously, it's natural progression.
Yeah.
But then you wanted to take that even further and start to do creative directing and stuff like that. So at what point did you decide that you were not just going to be a dancer? I guess is the question that I have, and that you were going to achieve more than just being a dancer. So
what's interesting about me is that I have always been a natural leader. Like even before I knew what a choreographer was, I was already choreographing. Like I in my elementary school, shout out to St. Martin de Porres in Scarborough, I was getting extension cords and feeding the wire outside and taking the tape deck and bringing my SWV cassette from home and like getting the girls at recess to follow me. Like I was like, even the fact that I was able to get extension cords, like
resourceful.
I'm in the third grade. Like, what do you mean?
Before you even knew what it was.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I had already been doing that, but I didn't know what a choreographer was, right? And it wasn't until I started taking dance classes when I was like 17. That's when I took my first professional dance class that I started understanding
like industry dance class at this point, like more in the industry, in the scene.
Even like I had never taken a formal dance class. Like I danced in the community center and like we made up the dances and like, oh, I think this should go here. But like to go pay somebody money and go take a dance class.
Right.
17 years old. Darren Henson, and he did J-Lo's Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Visiting teacher.
He was here shooting Soul Food because they shot a lot of stuff here at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, and
he was so fine, girl.
So fine. Still
is. Still is.
How
Come
dare
on. I.
Shout out to Darren. But yeah, like I went and took a class and I was terrible. I did everything backwards because I'm a self-taught dancer. I learned from music videos. So I would like record it and then play it back. So I went to class and did everything backwards.
Because you admire it.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, so like even I had to teach myself how to learn dance, you know? And I just wanted to be in that. And it was always there that I needed to choreograph and that I wanted to choreograph. And I literally tripped and fell into it. Someone had asked me to choreograph a video and I was like, or make up the routine for the video.
This is you as a grown dancer.
As a girl, like I met Jay Blaze and I'm like in it and they're like, somebody asked me to do a Red Rat music video. Yo. And I was like, okay. And I said yes and I did it and they were not happy with me about doing it. But as a result of that, they then created more professional opportunities for me to start choreographing. So like it literally was, they saw something inside of me and was like, here, do this. And then I took over one of Jay's classes and then that was how we got there.
So you started just getting the actual gig before you even like, people were giving you the job essentially before you even knew that you wanted to pursue that job.
Exactly.
That's fucking over. And that's, to me, like that speaks to, like I said, the power of community and all that. And like, yeah, I guess that is essentially like a plot twist to your story, right?
Completely.
Where it's like you would think that things are just going to be laid out for you in a certain kind of way, right? But then it's like, no, somebody's coming at you with this opportunity from the left or this opportunity from the right, right? And they're doing that and they're essentially pushing you further down your road because you're only seeing yourself at a certain place, but they're seeing you in a bigger light.
Yes.
Right? And they think that is the power of community. And that's what's so big about community and just having elders and people who are older around, because let's just be honest, if that was somebody that was competing beside you, they would not be handing you the opportunity. Your competitor would not be giving it to you, but somebody above you is looking down and being like, I see this in you, so we have to remember that we also have to pay that forward. And when we see other people who are coming up that have so much potential in what they're trying to do, and we have a way of actually supporting that by giving them a gig or giving them a job or connecting them with somebody, we have to do that.
Creating an opportunity
or
for
creating
them.
the opportunity for them.
And I have to give a lot of credit to these women. I was in this company, Blaze Entertainment, and they literally like what I considered to be my first professional job as a choreographer was for a friend of ours, Director Cashmere.
Okay, work.
Right. And Jay had said no to the video, but told her to hire me.
Work. And
that was a big deal because literally they created an opportunity for me to see how I would do. Like I consider Jay to be my earliest mentor, honestly. And I am grateful to be in the position that I am now to be able to mentor other people. Mm-hmm. You know, my whole career has been a plot twist.
Okay.
The whole thing has been a plot twist. None of it went the way that I thought it was gonna go. None of it went the way that it was supposed to go. But all of the twists are what makes my story and my journey so interesting and so unique.
That's fucking dope. And I think about it because like there is so little, like you said, access to getting these opportunities. There's such a small market on top of it, and it's a who you know sometimes kind of situation. So when you know the right people, sometimes in the network that you have, that shit kind of helps you to, you know, like I said, pump it up. It's all a part. We are literally a part of a product of like
our environment.
I'm going back. I have to go back a little bit because when I talk about TKBA stuff, and I like to shout out the TKBA and the accomplishments of the ballroom community that we have. The reasons why I shouted it out is because all the things that we got, and I mean even music videos and being on Amazing Race and the little link on Drag Race Canada, which we're going to talk about in a second, right? The links on Drag Race Canada, these things have been like, somebody is actually coming to us and being like, we heard about you guys. We want you guys to do this.
Work.
Like they're coming to us. People are referring them to us. And I realized like that is so huge. And that's something that I did not see back in the day, like I said. And I'm going to make sure that as much as I can give an opportunity to somebody else, you better fucking know that I'm going to give that opportunity to somebody else, because literally everything that you see right now is through referral. Come on. Okay? It is not through like, oh yes, we have the talent. But like that's why when you compare it to like I have to talk about Black excellence and, you know, quote unquote white mediocrity, it's because like we can have the talent, but there's still going to be something in our way. Right. The
opportunity just not readily being given to us like it is in other instances. And that's what I think is so amazing about where we are now and the awareness that we have and the platforms that we have and the access that we are able to share. And the things that we're able to access. You know what I mean? We're able to connect in a way that has never been possible before. Right. For good and for bad. And I think for people of color and for
I'm gonna say Black too.
Yeah. And for people who are marginalized. You know, I think for the first time, we have direct access to each other. Like Jasmine Sullivan posted just the other day, she's like, I know I've been in the industry for a long time, but I've never received love like this. Right. And the reason she's receiving the love she's receiving now is because as a community, I can share what I'm doing with somebody in Kansas and in New York and in Arkansas and in Australia and in Africa in seconds. Right. You know, and we are now able to rally around each other in a way that we've never been able to before. Right. And that is Black excellence.
And that's the access that the Shade is. I'm so glad that we have reached that level now where we can actually do that, because people are now able to really get to see their own worth and value in their life as well. Because, come on. Like, let's talk about, like, it's no shade. Like, I've been listening to Miss Jasmine Sullivan, like, baby, from like literally off of YouTube videos at first, way back, right? And if it wasn't, I guess, if she didn't like continue fighting, because there's so much like stuff standing in her way as an artist, right? And if she didn't continue fighting, she wouldn't even know the reach of her music from since back then, like you just said, right? Exactly. So we will never actually know who we impact. And that's why you gotta keep on doing what you're doing sometimes and like going with your passion. And I did want to ask a question about like turning your passion into the career that you have, but I think that you kind of touched it a little bit with talking about like the fact that people referred stuff to you because they saw your passion. Yeah. And I guess I want to, give me like a moment in time when you realize like, okay, this is my career. This is how I'm going to feed, like this is how I'm going to live the rest of my life. And then I want to actually talk about like, even I spoke to you about this because in our industry as performers and dancers specifically, because singers you can sing forever, right? Up until you die. Let's just be honest. There's the Patties, there's the Gladyses. If you take care of your instrument. That was a key. If you take care of your instrument, then you can sing forever, darling. But us as dancers, right? Anything that's more physical, there is a time limit, right? Absolutely. So there had to be a shift in your mind of knowing that you're not just going to be a dancer anymore, but even though that your career choice is still connected to dance, right? There still had to be a shift in your mind from being a dancer to being behind and knowing that this is what I want to do. This is where I'm going to end up.
Yes.
Right. And this is how I have to start living my life as an entertainer.
Right.
So now what happened? Okay. What's the difference? Yes. What happened?
Where did it shift?
Where did it shift for you?
So the first part of your question, I believe, was when did it go from being
just a passion into
career?
Yes.
For me, it was when I booked Hairspray. I had... Yes, thank you.
All of them. All of the snaps, okay? All of the fucking snaps. Congratulations.
And thank you. And even that story is a complete
But you were in the middle of that screen. Let me just say,
Honey,
you were all up in that camera, girl.
Listen.
Sorry, okay, yes. But yes,
but even that story is a plot twist. Like, I got sent the wrong callback time, and had I not made the impression that I made the day before, they definitely would have just sent me home. Like, they were auditioning hundreds of people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And what Hairspray did for me was it put me in a room with people who I admired and idolized. Like the Jamal Sims, who is happy birthday. Shout out to Jamal Sims.
Shout out. He's a Capricorn?
Capricorn.
Okay. Shout out to Jamal Sims.
And he
like
just
looking
turned
at you.
50.
He looks great.
Jesus.
He looks great.
You want to talk about Black excellence?
Black excellence. Yes.
Right. So it put me in the room with him, Queen Latifah, Ebony Nichols, who I ended up I've been assisting for the last decade.
Word.
Holly, Arike, like Nikki Blonsky, like the next generation of entertainers, the Zac Efrons. Like, this put me in this room with these people, and we were equals.
That's major.
And it shifted everything in my mind and in my spirit. And I was like, Hairspray was like college for me. This was the college experience that I needed. You know what I mean? And it took it from being something that I was doing to something that I was doing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I was making real money. And like, I moved to LA after I did Hairspray. And it shifted everything. And when it went from dance to choreography and artistic direction was when I started getting calls to assist Ebony Nichols. She's the most beautiful human being ever to me, ever. And she's like, I want you to come and assist me with The Dream. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. Can you be in New York for a week? Yes. Done.
Yes.
I got on that Greyhound bus and I'm choreographing. She's like, and I'm going to give you one of his biggest singles.
Work.
Shorty's a 10 was the song that she gave exactly to choreograph for this tour, for The Dream. I'm like, what are you talking about? It shifted everything. Sorry. Yeah.
Ooh, girl, I'm here like, my God, honey, the resume, girl, the resume.
The resume is extensive.
And all referral, again.
Come on, community.
This is like, honey, it's really the heart of it. And when you look at the people who are, and I have to say this again, like, success in our Black community, like, remember, so much things is done through word of mouth and referral. We share stories, like, it's usually through word of mouth. That's how we kind of,
right.
That's how we build value, right? So for these people to be saying your name all the time, like, it's just, yeah, it's monumental, and it literally puts you in the place of like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is actually, like you said,
yeah,
I'm an equal with them in the room, and I can just imagine how you felt in that moment where it's like, oh, bitch, like, I am the girl. Like, okay, I might have thought, I might have thought before that I was the girl, like, but Miss Thing, I am the girl.
You know what it really hit me? No tea. One day I was walking down Yonge Street at Young and Wellesley, and there people are honking, and I'm like, why is everybody honking? And someone's shouting out my name, Hollywood. I'm like, who? What?
That's fucking over.
I turn my head, and it's Queen Latifah. She is blocking up traffic to say hi to me on Yonge Street.
I'm gagging. By fucking name. By Holly.
And just waving out her car. I'm like,
wow. That's
work.
sick. That is so sick. whoa.
Do you know what I mean? And that's when I realized like there's an impact that I am making on people's lives.
That's so shout out to you. Like that's amazing. So I wanna actually move on to one thing. I didn't want to move on to talking about the aging thing as a dancer.
Oof. Yes, she's 37.
Like I have to talk about it right now, and I have to bring it back to me because like I vogue, and it's not just dancing that I do as a voguer. You're not just dancing; you're doing a whole lot on your body, right?
It's performance
like,
art,
baby. You're literally sacrificing your bones every day. And I'm realizing that, like I said, time is coming up, and I'm starting to feel like timing is coming up. I'm looking at these young kids battling. They can do like how many battles back to back, bigger stunts and all that shit. And I have to like think about like how to preserve my energy and like stamina. And
what does Wednesday afternoon look like? Right?
Like I have to think about these things.
Yes.
These kids are just here like,
throwing themselves.
Like for real. And I have to really, like I said, remember like I'm aging now as a dancer. So how does it feel to, I guess, how does it make you feel knowing that you cannot, I guess, do all the same stuff anymore? Like, how do you, I can't even like.
I get it.
It's so weird to talk about, right?
Here's what I will say. At the end of 2020, at the latter part of 2020, got booked on a Disney movie. And thank you.
She's getting booked steady. Like, what the fuck? Like, shut
out here.
Out here. Making a living.
Darling, paying this rent.
Yo.
Okay?
Yes.
But no, I got booked on this movie, and a part of me was like, wait a second. You are, at the time, 36. You haven't danced in how many months because we've been on lockdown, and you just got booked for this movie. I'm like, child, what is gonna happen?
Right.
Like the worry,
the anxiety,
all up in here.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But I'm gonna show you God's favor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get into rehearsal, and we're stretching, and Ebony Williams, she just did Beyonce, Black is King. She was one of the choreographers on Black is King. She's one of the choreographers for the movie. I'm in there and I'm stretching and I'm warming up, and she walks by me and I say, good morning. She's like, good morning. She comes back. She said, you're Hollywood. I was like,
this is the clutching of the pearls.
I was like,
the clutching of the pearls.
Okay.
Word.
What was beautiful about it is that they casted me for something really specific, and it reaffirmed me in my ability and in my skill set and in how I trained as a young dancer to be able to go into this space and pick this up and execute it the way that they wanted and still be able to give them exactly what it was that they casted me for.
Mm-hmm. So you basically went in there like the young you.
I was like, we're here. The only difference is in my backpack, there was like, massage gun. There was A535 rub. We had Tensor bandages. We're hydrating. The night before, I'm going to bed instead of staying up till all hours. What aging in this industry has done for me is it has changed and made me pivot the way that I approach the work. Like, I work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm. You know what it sounds like to me too? It sounds like to me that you've also taken the time to prioritize your instrument.
Baby.
Right? And keep your instrument intact so that at least you can use it for as long as possible, right? So like that's one thing that I definitely feel when it comes to aging as a dancer too. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like, how when they say like you put something down for too long, you get rusty, like you said, right?
Yep.
I try to literally never put it down.
Yes.
Like I literally, now that I'm feeling like, okay, whoa, right? I just literally try to at least vogue as often as I can, dance as much as I can, work out as much as I can.
Yes.
Because then when I need to pull it out, right? Not just from feeling, right? But when I need to pull it out on command, I can pull it out, right?
Look, it's important. I started doing yoga. Gosh, what's his Instagram handle? I don't remember it right now, but we'll put it somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put it there somewhere. We'll put it somewhere. Shout out to the people that do the editing.
Right.
Yes.
It's this guy, Justin, and we've known each other for a really long time, talking about community again. And last year he trained to be a yogi, and I was following his journey on Instagram, and now he's like, cool. And for my birthday, he gifted me a yoga class.
Work, that's sweet.
A while ago, and then I woke up today literally being like, I really wish I had scheduled a yoga class today. And there's a centering that's happening, and a balance that's happening. And he said something to me, and he said, at this point in our lives, it's about maintenance. Right? We have to maintain, and if we're not doing the necessary things to maintain, it's gonna rust. It's not,
and it will crack. People say black don't crack, honey, right? But your black may crack if you're,
if you're not drinking your water and minding the business that pays you.
It will crack.
This is why these girls' skin looks terrible. Because they're on Instagram just in everybody's business, and I'm like, girl, put the phone down. Go do your skin treatment.
Right. Go read a book. Go jog.
Do something.
Walk. Right.
You know what I mean? And it's maintenance. And I think for me, what's beautiful about aging is that I had great examples. Like, I literally was thinking about it. Like 10 years ago, I was at Jamal's 40th birthday party in LA. This man turned 50.
And he's still doing it.
He just did Aladdin.
Still doing it.
He's crushing it on RuPaul's Drag Race. I have great examples of how to transition well, and I want to be a great example for whoever's underneath me to transition well.
Well, I can definitely shout out to you being a great example, and this is definitely going to move on into the last topic that I want to talk about. But I want to talk about how you, like I said, I've seen you bringing up people. And especially one person that pops up in my mind is, Vixen, Irv Washington. Shout out to Vixen. Bam, bam, bam. Could we get some noise for my bitch?
Listen,
I need some noise for my bitch.
Big it up.
All right. Yes, Mother TKBA, what's good? Shout out you out all the time, all day, every day. You know what's good. But anyways, I see the way that you bring her up, and watching you, how you got an opportunity on one of Canada's, when it comes to the queer community, I don't think that we've ever had a platform as big as this, because we know the global power of the Drag Race empire.
Yes.
Right? And that by coming onto something like this, that you are now put in a global position. It's not just a Canadian thing, even though it's Canada's Drag Race, right? And watching you pull up Vixen there with you as an assistant on the show. Like, first of all, I remember watching it at home, and I'm there, because I guess Vixen's trying to give element of surprise to the girls, right? She was giving element of surprise to the girls. So we're there watching episode 3. I'm there like, wait, bitch, that's Vixen up there with Hollywood, bitch. I'm gagging. And I thought to myself, Hollywood, shout the fuck out, first of all, for you bringing Vixen on that show with you, because there's so many other dancers that you could have brought with you that would have been super eager and grateful and excited for the opportunity, but you decided to uplift your Black gay brother, right? And there's something so monumental about that, because like we're saying, everything is through referral in this thing. Like, all of our blessings that we've been getting is through referral. So you referring somebody a blessing and handing over a blessing to somebody is so powerful and so huge. I would love to even talk about how the opportunity came to your lap.
Yes.
Because I would love it would be so fab if it was a referral story again. But who cares if it's not? I want to know how it happened. And I want to know.
Is.
It's a referral story too, bitch.
It is.
Black excellence. No shade. Give it to, yes, let's talk about the story.
First, let's go to the beginning and then we'll get to Irvin. Vixen. I heard about Drag Race, and I was like, I reached out to Priyanka. Shout outs to season 1 winner of Canada's Drag Race, my Guyanese sister, Priyanka.
A well-deserved win.
Well-deserved win.
Yeah.
I reached out to her. I said, can you send me the email address that you guys are submitting to? And she sent me the email address, and I sent them the email being like, hey, my name's Hollywood Jade. I'm a choreographer. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It went through all the powers that be. I get the job.
I'm fucking gagging over here. you walked into that blessing.
But there are so many layers to this.
Of course. Hello, we have to talk about even like the fact that you set up your career in such a way where you can email, right? And first of all, there has to be, of course, there's going to be so much layers of like validating your experience and validating you as a choreographer and validating the name Hollywood. And the fact that they have to go through all those channels and every channel basically said yes. Because of something that you clearly had done right.
Right.
When we talk about burning bridges, Miss Thing, make sure you don't burn those bridges. And every professional opportunity is a serious one that can set you up for something in the future.
Look,
Hollywood.
And I want to.
This is giving it to me.
But that's exactly
this is
what
giving
it is.
it to me. Yeah.
Like, me and Priyanka started working together a year before Drag Race was even a thought, because she reached out to me, and I asked for this email address. I did that. I did the whole thing. And then once they presented the first challenge to me and I was lit, it all worked. I already knew that I wanted an assistant. I'm like, I need an assistant. And the producer of that segment called me while I happened to be sitting in front of Irvin in a Domino's. And I'm talking to the lady.
You can't make this shit up, guys.
I can.
You can't make this shit up.
I'm talking to the lady and I'm like, hey, her name's Pam. I was like, Pam, you want me to choreograph a number with 10 queens in how long? I need an assistant. Okay, well, how much is your assistant going to want? I gave her a price. She's like, well, I don't know if we have that in the budget. I said, take it out of my check. And she said to me, you'd be willing to take the money out of your check to have your assistant? I said, absolutely. She said, well, what's your assistant's name? I said, his name is Irvin Washington. She said, wow, what a name. I said, no word of a lie.
I believe you.
And he's sitting in front of me with pizza in his mouth like,
it's no shade.
Come on. And I said to her, I said, wait till you meet him. And she said, I'm going to figure this out. And she hung up the phone and she figured it out.
That's something.
They didn't take the money out of my check and he got his own check.
That is something.
And I was able to hire him as a dancer as well.
That is something.
So he got 2 checks.
I have to shout you out for that. Like, no shade. That's
my, honestly, he has held me down in a way that I didn't think was possible. And there was no way that I was going to get this opportunity and not have him be a part of it. It just was, no way. And I'm grateful for the God and the space that we are in, that he was in a place where he himself was able to receive this thing. Because a lot of times people want to help us, but we aren't able to receive the help that they're giving because we're not there yet. I'm just grateful that he was in a space to receive it, and look at how it turned out.
Look at how it turned out. Like, look, watching you guys together on that show, after the show, looking at where it's placed you, and like looking at the confidence and rejuvenation it's brought to Irvin.
Come on.
Is just so,
don't make me cry.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to watch, and I'm so like, yeah, I'm just grateful that we have examples of Black excellence that now we can look up to
in our community.
Now, exactly.
It.
And I want to shout you out, Hollywood, because you really represent Black excellence. And although, well, not even although, it's that shout out the community, like you said, put you on, and you're still giving back to the community, and you're still paying it forward, because that's what it is about. Like, the opportunities you get, if you can give somebody else another opportunity, do so. Don't stand in nobody else's way, because that's what real Black excellence
Never.
is.
To have all of this Caribbean Blackness on international TV, just all of this Black melanin.
Like, what?
They weren't ready. They were not ready.
They clearly weren't. They said all 4 of them. They tried to send 4 of them home first. But
look,
it's no shit.
That's cool. But the fact that they allowed them to be their authentic selves in those moments, that's unheard of.
Yes.
To have that much diversity in representation. Come on. It's crazy.
It was actually beautiful to see.
Look.
And it's actually, the shade is because we're from Canada.
Yep.
So it gave very much, if these girls were not on it, it's not giving Drag Race Canada.
It wouldn't have, exactly. It wouldn't have been an authentic representation. And I shout outs to Mike Bickerton. He was,
I know him.
Executive
shout
producer.
Out to Mike Bickerton.
Listen.
Shout out to Mike Bickerton.
If Mike Bickerton calls you kids, answer the phone.
We've learned. We have learned. We've learned since Amazing Race season 5. Shout out. Go check us out. Mike Big up you.
You listen, and he's and like, and when we talk about allyship and we talk about people who are here to see it be done the right way, I told him I'll work for you in a bus shed. Come on, like let me know.
And the thing is, like that it's major, and I'm so grateful that you got to work with a team that's respectful, because then it makes me side eye the other productions. Because, you know, we have respectful people, and that they literally brought so much things and such a respect to all the communities that it came from. Not just ballroom, first of all.
Yeah.
But just how they talked about all the different challenges and the way they introduced stuff.
Yes.
It was just, we're respecting every culture and giving shine to every culture that these things came from.
And representing the community as a whole. Because
that's major.
It is. A lot of times, like, Black excellence isn't represented on these platforms. It's really not.
And as a whole, because usually they want Black excellence, let's be honest and be fair, like they want Black excellence in a certain kind of way.
Yes, right. There's only certain contexts that it makes sense.
So when you said all these different girls in their actual truths,
yes,
because there's so many different kinds of Black people, right?
So many. And I love that it was represented in all the facets, with Stacey, with me, with Irvin, with Starzy, Pre, Tainomi. Like it's so good. So good. So good.
Shut up.
Even to have like it bilingual, like it was
that was a key, first of all.
Oh my god!
Then we do the French go
Look, man.
Tainomi had me screaming. I yelled.
It's good.
I yelled. It was
good.
It was a good
and
show.
Kiara. Can't forget Kiara.
Yes,
Can't forget Kiara.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, I love Kiara.
My girl from Montreal.
I want Kiara. Kiara, if you're listening, I just want you and me to have like 2 weeks together in a studio, because I'm going to give you your entire life and get you to understand your body, darling.
It's no shit. She is it.
Honey, because garments are meant to be draped on those shoulders.
She's it. She's it. It's over for her.
Ooh,
it's over
for her. She just doesn't have. I don't think she's ever worked with somebody to help her get into her body. But once she gets into that body, baby, it's like Naomi will adopt her. I promise you. I promise you, darling.
Smiles, right?
Honey, I promise you. That's a legacy.
Like literally giving the daughter up.
This was amazing.
There's no shade.
I'm pouring myself.
But before we go, Hollywood, because we're wrapping up.
Yes.
I actually put up a thing on my IG today.
Okay.
Saying
questions.
Yes. Send in some.
I bring my own beverages, guys.
I
walk with roommates regularly.
I'm gonna read through them right now.
Okay, let's go.
While I'm doing this, and pick the question that stands out. Like I just know it's gonna be.
Or let's do like, are there lots? Or a couple? We could do like rapid questions. We could do rapid.
Okay, let's do some rapid questions then. Okay, let's start with these ones.
I'm always producing things.
Was there a defining moment when you knew you needed to pursue dance as a career? And we kind of touched on.
Yes, it was when I didn't get into post-secondary.
For the triple threat program.
Yes, when I didn't get into that, and I knew that dance was going to be the thing. Because
you got your gig immediately after with Jay Blaze. Shout out to Jay Blaze again.
Big round.
What has been the biggest hurdle you faced getting older in the dance community? And what's been the best experience in being older in the dance community?
The best experience in being older in the dance community was this movie that I just did, and realizing that I represent a demographic of people who are important on set. The experience and the knowledge that I have from all the things that
feeling.
It is, and it's great to know that there are people who want to learn that. So for all you people hiring, having a variation in age is important to elevate the skill level of what you're getting. What was the first part of it? I lost it.
And then what's been the biggest hurdle you faced in getting older in the dance community?
It's no shade.
That this shit, it hurts. Everything hurts.
For real. Like when we were told it wouldn't hurt. Do you remember back then?
Do you remember just showing up in
never
boom,
stretching?
Boom, khaki? Okay?
Stretch.
Honey, stretch? No.
Post? Yoga?
I suggest everybody young start doing yoga now.
And this is a really good question.
From my yogi.
This is a really good question.
Here. Go.
What are some of the biggest changes you've noticed in the dance community over the years? That's a good one.
What I've noticed, some of the big changes that I've noticed is that staying power is not what it used to be.
It's no shade. What do you mean by that?
Like I'm an anomaly. Do you know what I mean? I am a plot twist. Being 37 and booking a Disney movie is a plot that doesn't happen.
Twist in itself.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a handful of people who are still able to do this thing, and it is. I'm so grateful,
right?
Because I love what I do. And I love being able to, especially now, be able to represent that as fully and authentically as possible. Like, they wanted me to be in this movie and be myself, honey.
That must
be
a bad feeling.
Are you kidding?
What?
I didn't have to like wear baggy pants in rehearsal. I can wear, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I can come in with a light dust.
Do you remember how we used to have to go to auditions back in the day, girl? Every bitch had to wear a tank top just so they could look at her body when the girls wanted to wear a little bit of a blouse.
Honey.
The girls want to wear a blouse.
Give you a look.
Okay, but like now it's because of bitches like you that paved the way.
Wow.
That the girls can actually come through and be how we are in this dance world today.
And I love to see it.
Okay?
I love to see it.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
I have a couple more questions that I want to ask you, which I think is actually really, really cool.
Go.
Is there somebody you haven't choreographed for that you would love to choreograph for in the future? Like, what is your dream? What's the dream person that you love to choreograph for or work with as a dancer?
And they have to be alive.
They didn't say that in the question, so let's say no. But let's say because we also want to speak it into being.
Yes.
So yes, we're gonna need somebody
alive that I want to work with,
and a dead one too. Yes. Definitely alive. Too.
I know the dead person would be. I'd want to be Luther Vandross's artistic director. Like I would live because he's a storyteller. So that would be my deceased person. Aaliyah, I love you, but I already know your team was tight, so it's okay.
It's no shade.
Somebody
Perfect.
Alive. That I haven't choreographed for. I'm going to keep it Canadian.
Sure.
And I really, really, really want to get my hands on Savannah Ray.
Savannah Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What is it about her? I hope you're hearing this. Savannah.
There's magic inside of how she sounds that I feel like hasn't been unlocked in the performance aspect that I really want to help unlock. I love seeing people grow.
It's all in the way you say things, right? To listen to how you just broke that down, miss. If I was Savannah, I'd be like, have my person call you because we're trying to unlock something from inside of me that's been locked away that needs a key. And if Hollywood is the key, then unlock that.
And honestly, guys, Hollywood is the key.
Hollywood is not just a key,
honey,
but Hollywood is also the plot twist.
Come on!
Thank you for being here with me today.
This was amazing. Congratulations.
Shout out to Twin River. Shout out to Crown Me. Shout out to everybody.
Yes.
This is a living example of Black excellence, and thank you for being able to display that to us. Stay tuned. You guys know we're going to have more episodes coming up, but this was a great episode of The Plot Twist.
And don't get it twisted. We're twisted. And don't get it twisted. We're twisted. And don't get it twisted. We're twisted. And don't get it twisted. We're twisted.